told them that I could. Tell me I can't do it. I will prove you wrong. I will show you that you're mistaken, because I believe, and this is real important, I can't, will thwart you, will stop you, will slow you down, will turn you around and cause you to move backwards if you let it. But if you have the proper mindset, I can't will do nothing but make you that more determined.
Are here to say, as women, we're not taking it anymore.
And inspired by all the women who have felt strong enough and empowered enough to speak up and share their personal stories. So I want tonight to express gratitude to all the women who have endured years of abuse and assault, because they, like my mother, had children to feed and bills to pay and dreams to pursue. For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. But their time is up.
I think there's a lot of people who see feminism as not just equality for both men and women, but as women being superior to men, which is incorrect. They just want women to be considered equal, given equal pay for equal work, equal opportunities, and to feel equally as safe as men do.
I think that first, feminism has a bad reputation because sometimes the feminists, they get a little carried away when they come to speaking about what they believe, even though sometimes it has to be said, because who else is gonna say it? I don't personally consider myself a feminist, but I do believe that women need equal rights.
I think women have to face a lot of barriers daily, but I think what makes the barriers today different than the barriers that women used to have to face is that they're a bit more subtle now, and they're not so overtly in our culture. So, and people aren't even necessarily aware of these barriers. So, for example, we have a male and a female boss, and both the male and female boss will have the same characteristics, the same qualities, and yet the female boss will get described as bossy and controlling, and a real task manager, but the male boss will get described as a leader, as good at giving direction, and so it's all those little subtle ways that women are sort of encouraged to mute themselves or take down their strength, that continually put up the barriers, because after a while, after enough criticism or judgment for simply doing the same thing that a man will do, it is really easy and understandable that you do kind of want to take a step back, because that it's really hard to continually fight against that and deal with that.
I want the men in my community to understand that they can't treat girls the way that they think they can and get away with it, because a lot of the things that they say isn't right, and it makes us feel like we're less than them, and no one should ever feel like they're less than somebody else.
I don't feel safe as a woman. Women in general are just treated so differently, and we're looked upon as more as an object and not a person. So I really don't feel safe, because you could be walking down the street and someone can judge you or say something about you, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. But the other gender doesn't experience that, because it's just not known to them, and it's known more towards us, and it really makes me feel uncomfortable. So I don't feel safe.
I think that goes back to the who has the babies, and for throughout time, women have been seen as the nurturers, and because of that, there was always this impression that we were the only ones that could care for children. We were the only ones that could nurture children. That while we were busy doing that was the more important role. That men were off doing other things. So it was very easy to create a box of what it means to be a woman and to tell girls this is what you must do. And the sad part is it became this is the only thing that you can do.
I think it's first is an issue of time. We're fighting against the way cultures have been set up and the way ideas have been set up from the very beginning. There's just no way that this is going to move quickly. As far as changing it goes, a lot of it has to do with the laws that are being made, and it's only fairly recently that we've had women involved in politics actually getting elected to positions, and you're more likely to have laws change in favor of women's safety when you have people who actually experience that.
Originally women gained political power through topics which were considered acceptable for women. We see women in the Industrial Revolution trying to address Parliament on behalf of, orphaned children or children in the workhouses or children who are working in factories.
We want our government to pass this DACA bill.
We're still protesting, but now we have to also organize.
Girls would be like, we would be treated equally and not be scared to go outside at night or with our friends hanging out like a group of guys would. And not worrying about what you're wearing. Yeah, I don't think there's ever gonna be a perfect world.
I would say all people should be treated fairly.
That island where Wonder Woman grew up. Diana grew up, Diana Prince. But to be honest, I don't think there is such a thing. I don't think there is such a thing as any kind of perfect world. I think, the goal is that as long as everybody is working towards a better world, that's what's important. So I guess my perfect world would be one in which everyone was working on making the world a better place for everyone in it and not just themselves.
My perfect girl world would be one where women do not have to fear men. I sometimes even get a little pessimistic where I wonder, is that even possible? But there's this really great quote where it says, men fear that women will laugh at them, and women fear that men will kill them.
The empowering message that I can leave for women everywhere is don't feel like anybody, especially a man, is better than you, because he doesn't have to go through half the things we do as women, and they just think that they can make us feel certain ways, but we should never let them get to us.
I keep trying to think of what I tell my 10-year-old daughter, and I think, the key that I try to tell her is, do the thing that people think you can't do. I don't believe that there's anything that, I physically am incapable of doing if I want to do it. And I will pass that on to my daughter.
Be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. You have to embrace your flaws. Yeah, you can't change that. Another thing is to remember that everything happens for a reason. And just because you have a setback, don't let that hold you back. You should push through and really persevere to become better.
You should always be confident in themselves.
What else?
And always respect each other.
I think the key is persistence. You just keep fighting for it.
In order to change the world for women, I think we need to make a lot more people a lot more uncomfortable with what the world is actually like for women. We'll see in the news, in media, and just in general, people talking about things. We'll see people substitute the word rape for assault. You know what? To bring about change, you're going to make some people uncomfortable, but you're also going to make them aware of things that they kind of try to avoid or not think about. So I think having uncomfortable conversations and not letting yourself get shamed out of having those uncomfortable conversations is actually what makes people aware. And if they're aware, they're actually going to be able to do something different.